Hi everyone, I'm Kira Michelle. Today's class is a 30-minute Vinyasa flow class. I've got a lot of back bends in this, so keeping this element of heart opening coming in throughout the class time and time again. Option to have blocks. If you don't have blocks, grab a book. If you don't have them, totally okay, you don't need them. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, everyone, let's go ahead and get started in a child's pose. So come towards the back of your mat, have your big toes together, knees splayed out nice and wide for this one. If you want a block or a pillow underneath your head, you're welcome to get it. And I just want you to start by taking a few really deep, full, conscious breaths. So start to draw the air down into your belly, into your diaphragm. And on the exhale, empty everything out, breathing out through your nose. Really working to arrive in your space. And I just want you to check in and see how you're feeling. Not trying to shift or change anything, but just meeting yourself where you are. One more deep, full breath. All right, let's go ahead and walk the hands out as far forward as they can go. So far forward that the forearms start to lift up off of the ground. Spreading the fingers out nice and wide. Make sure the index fingers are pointing forward. We'll shift the weight forward, tuck the toes, and head on up to your first downward facing dog. Start to pedal it out a little bit and just feeling into your back body. Noticing if the hamstrings are feeling tight. You can move it around side to side. Again, just arriving in your space. All right, come back through center. Nice and slowly start to ripple forward into your plank pose. Really press through your shoulder blades in order to get yourself into your plank. Once you hit plank, make sure your hands are directly underneath your shoulders. Reach your chest and heart a little bit further forward. Crown of the head reaches forward as heels press back. So we're getting really, really strong here. Inhale and exhale. One more breath just like this. Deep full inhale, activating the core, making it a little bit stronger. And on your exhale, slowly start to lower down through our chaturanga all the way down to the ground. Keep it as slow as you can. You can do this on your knees if you need to as well. All right, Sphinx pose. Go ahead and press your forearms into the ground. Make sure your elbows are stacked directly underneath your shoulders. And then start to lift up through your chest, open up through your heart. So today we're going to be getting into the back body a lot of back bends. So even from this first back bend, I want you to see if you're compressing through the lower spine. So if you're feeling tight in the lower back, if that's the case, really start to press down through your forearms, open up your chest and send your heart up and forward. We're trying to remove the strain from the lower back by lifting up through chest and heart. One more full breath here. Keep pressing your forearms down, slide your elbows back to reach your chest and heart further forward. That's it. On your exhale, release it all the way down. Go ahead and tee the arms out. We'll pick up the right foot. This is called shoulder pigeon. You'll step your right foot behind the left knee, and then you can either gaze up to the ceiling or let your head drop down to the ground. Now I want you to press your left hand really, really heavy into the ground. If you want to extend this a little bit more, reach the arm back and then start to feel the left shoulder stretch, intensify. Keep sending the right knee up to the ceiling, so we're opening up through the hips. And then slowly start to roll yourself back through center. Switch it over, right arm extends out to the side. Check that the hand is in alignment with your right shoulder. Left hand comes underneath the left shoulder. Pick up your left foot and step behind. Your head can be dropped down. Again, I want you to imagine there is a button underneath your right hand and you're trying really hard to press it down heavily. And so the heavier you start to press that down, the more of a stretch you get through your shoulder. If you want to intensify it, start to reach the left arm back. That gets in there really good. Send the left knee up to the ceiling, opening up through the pelvis. And then go ahead and come right back through center. All right, child's pose, send it back. Full deep inhale here. And on your exhale, downward facing dog. Start to spiral your armpits in towards the chest and heart. That way we get broad and long through the upper back. Go ahead and roll forward one more time into your plank pose. Take your time to get there. Same thing we did before. Chest and heart, pull forward. Let's come down for a count of 5 this time. Balls of the feet or knees through your chaturanga to the ground for 5. Nice and slow for 4. Everything hits the ground at the same time for 3. For 2. And 1. Reach the hands out nice and long in front of you. Think Superman. So let's lift everything up off the ground. Squeeze the glutes. That's helping you support your back body, to support your back bend. Go ahead and cactus your arms out either side. Envision you could pull the shoulder blades together, pull the elbows together behind you. Obviously, they're not gonna get there. Reach the arms back, interlace the hands. Shoot the fist back, lift up a little higher. That's it for 3. Feel the back body working. For 2, squeeze your legs closer together. And on your exhale, softly release it all the way down to the ground. Just swap hips side to side. Hands come underneath the shoulders. Go ahead and press up to your all fours. Walk your hands back so we're stacked in alignment. Wrists, shoulders, knees, hips. Start to move through your cat-cow. So on your inhale, dip down through belly, pick up chest and heart. Exhale, round. Again, inhale, open up. And exhale, round. Go ahead and flip the fingers around, either to your kneecaps. If that's too much, you can send them out to the sides. Just getting into the wrists a little bit. Flip the fingers back around to the top of the mat. Find your cow pose. So your butt is sticking up, you're lifting your chest and heart up, finding this back bend again. Tuck the toes, slide yourself up and back, downward facing dog. Couple of breaths here. Inhale through the nose. Exhale. Get a little stronger in the core. All right, so this isn't a back bend, it's also not a rounded spine. Think about this more like a plank pose. Everything's activated, pulling into the center line. Crown of the head reaches towards the fingers. Tailbone presses up towards the ceiling. And then slowly start to cruise on up to the top of the mat. Deep forward fold by the time you get there. Have a soft bend to your knees. Hold on opposite elbows and just sway it out. Good, release the hands down. Inhale as your half lift. Open up through chest. Lengthen through your spine. And on your exhale, release it all the way back down. Again, inhale, half lift, open. And exhale, release. And this time, with the soft bend to your knees, engagement of the core, roll yourself all the way up. Taking your time. Once you get there, shoulders roll up and back. Heel toe your feet together and open up through your chest. Find your Tadasana. Get strong, get tall. All right, let's flow. Circle your arms out around all the way up. On your exhale, forward fold, hinge at the hips, soft bend to the knees. Inhale, half lift, open up through your chest. Hands come down to the ground. Step back, right foot, left foot, plank pose. Go ahead and head into your chaturanga. Nice and slow, come down. Hold, pause, flip up and open, tops of the feet. Exhale as your downward facing dog. From your down dog, I'd like you to kick your right leg up and back. Check that the right leg is straight and strong, toes are dialed down, and push down through the hands to get more space between your joints. Scoop up through the belly, step your foot all the way through in between your hands. Now come up to your fingertips, or maybe you're even up on blocks. You're gonna work to squeeze your feet towards each other so we get really strong in the lower half of the body. Reach the arms up and forward. You're in a diagonal from your fingertips all the way down to your left heel. So you're starting to feel this in your right thigh, and your belly is just a little bit off of your right thigh. We'll swim the arms all the way around, interlace the hands behind the back, bring yourself up to a high lunge. Keep squeezing the palms together, keep squeezing the shoulder blades together, and all together we're gonna drop down for a count of 3. Slide the left knee down to the ground for 2, 1. It taps, we lift all the way back up, but keep the right leg straight. Let's do this one more time, drop it all the way down. This time we hold it there. Untuck your back toes, and then start to shoot the fist down the back of the left leg. Open up through the chest, lift up through heart. Full deep inhale, hold it. Exhale. One more. Good, go ahead and melt your hands down, frame your front foot. Now listen up, the back shin swivels to the right. It becomes parallel to the back of the mat. Left hand comes down to the back. Right arm reaches up towards the ceiling. Squeeze your glutes, press your pelvis forward, and then start to rise your right leg up. Reach your right hand up and over. So imagine two people are pulling you opposite directions. You're getting as long as you can through the right side of the body. All right. Step the right foot down to the ground. Turn the right toes forward, rebend. Circle your hands down. Frame your right foot. And then back shin swivels to where it came from. Pick up the back knee. Chest and heart reach forward. And on your exhale, we step back into our plank pose. We have this slow vinyasa again. Come down for 3, for 2, for 1, hold. Flip it up and open, tops of your feet. Exhale, downward facing dog, all the way up and back. Collect your breath. Inhale through your nose for a count of 4. Exhale for 4. Okay, left leg shoots up and back. Kick through the heel. Feel this in your right hamstrings. Get longer through your arms by pressing heavy into your thumb and index fingers. Scoop up through the belly. Step your foot through in between your hands. Up to your fingertips. Scoop the belly up. So we're trying to get the belly off of the thigh. Reach the arms forward and up. So we're growing as long as we can through the fingertips all the way down through to the right heel. So getting really, really strong here. Swim your arms around, interlace your hands behind. Now do the opposite grip this time. So whatever feels natural, I want you to switch it over. Keep getting longer. Slowly start to rise on up to your high lunge. All right, so we have 2 of these bending of the back knees. The first one we tap down. So coming down for 3, for 2, for 1. Lift it back up for 3, 2, 1. Again, 3, 2, 1. Drop it down. Untuck the back toes. Start to shoot the fist down the back leg. So your back bend comes from your chest and from your heart. It's an opening. We lift up out of the lower back rather than sinking and compressing. On your next exhale, melt the hands down, frame your front foot. Okay, so we'll swivel the right shin to the left. It becomes parallel to the top of the mat. We straighten through the left leg, right hand comes down, left arm reaches up to the ceiling. Squeeze the glutes, press the pelvis forward so we're opening up through the hip flexors. Left leg lifts, left arm reaches up and over, bicep and left ear connect. See if you can pick up out of the right shoulder, find a little more space here. And then eventually step the left foot all the way down, turn the left toes forward, rebend through left knee, circle hands forward. Pivot the back shin to where it came from, lift the back knee up off the ground, and step back to our plank pose. Find your vinyasa, nice and slow again. No rush for 3, for 2, and 1. Upward facing dog, flip it up, open through the chest and heart. Downward facing dog, press it back. 2 deep full breaths. Again, down dog is a perfect space to reconnect with breath. One more. Okay, let's go ahead and bend the knees. Gaze forward, step or float, top of the mat. Inhale as your half lift. Exhale, release it down, forward fold. And inhale, circle your arms out around, all the way up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hands come down through prayer and into your Tadasana. All right, Utkatasana, chair pose. Your feet can be together, they can be apart. Sit it down low, lift your chest and heart up high. So I want this one to be pretty deep. You're drawing the weight back into your heels. Actively start to pull your heels apart as you pull the inner thighs towards each other. But guys, everything remains parallel. So I say pull the inner thighs together. I don't mean sink your knees in. You're just pulling it together as your heels pull apart. So it actually remains really steady and parallel. From there, swim your arms around, interlace your hands. Shoot the fist back. I want you to find a back bend here. So pick up chest, open up heart. And on your exhale, it's a forward fold. Dive yourself down. Now the fists are either heading straight up to the ceiling or to the wall in front of you. I want you to try to keep your spine relatively neutral rather than rounded. And if that means you need a slight bend to your knees, please have that here. Go ahead and sit back down, keep your hands interlaced, find your chair pose again. Swing your arms down, around, all the way up towards the top corner of the ceiling. And on your exhale, forward fold, hinge at the hips. Inhale as your half lift, open it up. Hands come down to the ground. You're welcome to step or float, however you get back into your vinyasa. But keep your vinyasa nice and slow. Inhales up. And exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, right leg will shoot up and back. This time I want you to open up the hip and bend the knee. You have the option to stay here if you'd like to. If you want to head into your rock star, really take your time to get here, resist gravity, slowly flip yourself all the way over. Keep your left leg straight, bring your right hand behind your head. Again, another back bend, open up through chest, squeeze the glutes, press open through left hip. Right hand comes back down, right knee pulls into the chest. We step the foot through in between the hands. Take your time, that's a big transition. All right, extended side angle. Forearm comes down to the thigh. Left arm reaches up and over. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, twist a little bit deeper. One more breath, inhale. And exhale, deeper again. Left hand swings down to the left hip. We'll gaze forward. You're welcome to use a block for this, and in fact, I am going to. We'll head into an Ardha Chandrasana. So if you don't have a block, if I was at home, I would use a water bottle or a book. I always use something for my Ardha. So from here, we gaze forward, slide your hand or your book or your block about 6 inches in front of your right foot. Left leg lifts up, maybe left arm lifts up. And then once you're starting to feel a little bit confident, you can gaze on up. Whew. And if you're wiggling and wobbling, obviously, you're not alone. Okay, so another big transition, slow motion into warrior two, facing the back of the mat. So bend the right knee quite a lot, search for the ground with your left foot, spiral through center, flying warrior into your warrior two. Sit it down nice and low. Good. Left toes going straight back. While we're sinking down low here, work to squeeze your legs towards each other. So the legs, bottom half of your body is getting really active. On your inhale, flying warrior, all 10 toes to the side. Interlace your hands behind your back. Shoot your fist down, lift your chest and heart up. And we'll just do this moving. So go ahead and drop ourselves down for 3, for 2, for 1. Bring yourself right back on up for 3, for 2, all the way up for 1. All right, hands stay interlaced, high lunge, top of the mat. And on your exhale, melt your hands down. Step back into your plank pose. Another slow vinyasa. If you need to start to drop this down to your knees, please do. Up dog, downward facing dog. Straight into the left side, left leg kicks up and back. Open up your hip, bend your knee. Either stay here or gracefully step your left foot behind. Take your time. Left hand comes behind the head. See if you can straighten through the right leg, press open through the right hip flexor. All right, left hand comes back down. Left knee pulls into the chest. Step it through in between your hands. Plant the back heel on the ground, extended side angle. So I want you to grow as long as you can from the right pinky toe all the way up to the right fingertips. Lift up out of left shoulder and spiral open. As you continue to get a little deeper in your legs, actively, I keep saying this, squeeze the feet together so the left hamstrings, the left glutes start to fire. Right hand comes to your right hip. Gaze forward. Use your block or book or whatever it is you're using. We slide on out nice and slow. Ardha Chandrasana. Right leg lifts up. Keep your legs super strong here. Right arm reaches up. If you're feeling confident, you start to gaze up. So everything's working. Left thigh lifts up. Right heel kicks back. Glutes are on fire right now. We've got this for 3. For 2, if you fall out of it, reassess, reset, and start again. Slow motion, warrior 2 facing the back of the mat. Bend the left knee. Search for the ground with the right foot. Bring your both arms up, all 10 toes to the side. Right toes turn to the back of the mat. Deep bend into warrior 2. Soften your shoulders down, broaden through your collarbones. Inhale. And exhale. Flying warrior, all 10 toes to the side. Lift up. Circle your hands around. Opposite thumb on top. So whatever feels natural, switch it around. Find yourself in a little bit of a back bend. On your exhale, forward fold for 3, for 2. Keep the weight in the balls of the feet for 1. Come right back on up for 3, for 2, and 1. 10 toes to the top of the mat. High lunge, sit it down low. And on your exhale, melt your hands down, frame the front foot. Step it back, plank pose. If you'd like to take another vinyasa, you can. You don't have to. Come down. Inhale, it's up, lift it open. And exhale, downward facing dog. Up and back. All right, guys, we're gonna start to wind this down. So go ahead and drop your knees down to the ground. Cross the shins over behind you and come to sit down on your booty. Scoot yourself forward just a little bit. Hands will be behind. Now, make sure you have enough space here, so maybe your feet have to come a little further in front. Figure 4 pose, so go ahead and cross your right ankle on top of your left thigh. Send the right knee away, lift up through your chest, even find another back bend here. So rather than collapsing and sinking, can you lift up and open? So this is a good place to stop if your hamstrings, if your hips are feeling a little bit tight. Okay, so if you feel a lot of sensation here, stay. Keep the right foot flexed the whole time. If you want a little bit more intensity, and when I say little, it might be a lot more intensity, heel toe your left foot, so the left heel is in alignment with your right sit bone. You start to drop the left knee down to the ground. Check that the left shin is parallel to the top of the mat. Double pigeon or ankle to knee pose. So your heel will press on top of your left knee. You work to press your right sit bone down and start to drop your right knee as close to the left heel as possible. So let me face you so you can see. This is not my favorite pose. It's actually a lot of work. Okay, so again, both of your shins are gonna be parallel to the top of your mat. You'll lift up rather than sinking and rounding back. I want you to find that element or that idea of a little back bend again and lean yourself forward. You can see that when I lean forward, I have more space in my hips to drop my right knee down. Yours might not look anything like this. You might be back here in agony. And if that's the case, stay back here and take a few deep full breaths. If you have really open hips, which mine are not right now, whew. If you have open hips, you're welcome to drop yourself all the way down. For those of you who do that, you know who you are, get into it. For those of you who are with me, and this is a really uncomfortable pose, what I need you to do, what I would like you to do is maybe have a soft gaze or close your eyes. And then just check in with your hips. Notice if you're like me, everything is clenched up and tight. So see if you can breathe into this and find a little bit more space. Envisioning softening through your hip flexors, so your thighs. Another one of those is your psoas. And that might just sound like a weird word, which it is. But just the areas that you feel are tight, see if you can just release and relax them a little bit. 2 more breaths. You got this. 1 more breath. All right, be gentle. Get out of this. Step both feet forward. Give them a shake and feel into all the sensations that are happening right now. Okay, hands come behind again. We have 2 sides. Thank goodness there's only 2 sides. We'll cross the left ankle on top of the right knee. Again, this might be enough, right? Stay there if that's the case. If you're here and you're staying here, you're pulling the left toes towards the left knee, you're pressing the left knee away from the body, and you're trying your best to open up through your chest. And you can just notice when you sink versus when you press forward, that stretch gets a lot more intensity. If you want to take this to the next step, heel toe your right foot, so your heel is in alignment with your left sit bone. Start to drop the right knee down to the ground. Shift yourself forward. Left heel, right knee. The sides are gonna be a little different, right? One side is gonna be tighter, one side's gonna be looser. So we're not just doing a simple crisscross of the legs. Shins are parallel and shins are stacking on top of each other. If you've got a really big distance, you're welcome to put a pillow or a block there just so the knee is resting on something. Again, rather than hanging back, and this might be a place you need to be, and if that's the case, stay there. If you have it within you, start to shift it forward. So I find the things that we resist the most are usually the things we need the most. So stay with this. And check in with the mind, right? If I'm being real with you, this pose frustrates me a lot because coming from a movement background, a flexibility background, I feel like I should be able to do this better. And that's my yoga, is catching that should and working with, but this is where I am. All right, so no point shoulding myself. Just softening, all right, soften through the pelvis. Notice that when we're uncomfortable, we clench up to protect ourselves, when in reality, we kind of need that yin and yang of releasing with boundaries. All right, so find a little bit of softness. 2 more breaths. Again, if you're super open in the hips, dive yourself forward. I'm not there. All right, let's go ahead and gently come out of this. Step your hands behind, extend your legs out in front, and give them a bit of a shake. Feet come together, soles of your feet come together. This is not going to be the one where you pull your feet in nice and close. This is Tadasana. We're trying to find a really big, wide diamond. We've been doing a lot of back bending today, so I'll let you come into this big cat spine forward fold. If your head is off the ground, grab a pillow, or if you have a block, get it, you're welcome to use it. Bring yourself down. Find this openness to your upper back. Return back to your slow, deep, full breath through the nose. Two more. Okay. Go ahead and bring yourself right back on up. Soles of the feet come down to the ground. Slowly start to lower yourself all the way back and down. Pull the knees into your chest, wrap yourself up and in nice and tight. Maybe rock and roll side to side a little bit, just feeling into the back body right now. Tee your arms out nice and wide. Knees both drop over to the left. So I want you to pick up your knees, bring them as close to your left elbow as possible. So we're getting a stretch through the T-spine, the thoracic, around the ribs. Gaze to the right. Any different variation of this you'd like to take, you're welcome. Soften the knees, soften the right shoulder. Breathe deep and full into the right side of the ribs. And then gently bring yourself all the way back through center. We'll switch sides, knees drop over to the right, up towards the elbow. Gaze to the left. Feel that stretch through the ribs. Again, breathe nice and full into the left rib cage, left side of the ribs. Soften your eyes, soften your shoulder. Two more. Nowhere to be, nothing to do except for this posture right here, slowing your breath down. Come back through center, knees draw into your chest. Again, give yourself a big hug. I want you to find a little bit of gratitude for this body of yours, even if it doesn't always work the way you want it to. The way it does work is pretty great. And then go ahead and extend your legs all the way out, coming into your Shavasana. Now in Shavasana, if you're feeling a lot of lower back pressure because we did a lot of back bends, maybe have your pillow or a block or two underneath your knees. And then release yourself down into this. Guys, this is where I'm going to leave you. If you'd like to be in Shavasana for 5 or 10 minutes, I say yes. Use that time to relax. Thank you so much. Namaste.